In April of 2024, this year, we began work on the 1978 Rockford Firebird, not only to make it a good running and driving car, but to get it ready for Hot Rod Power Tour in June. We might have not started early enough. Stick around, let's see what happened. So it's been a little bit since you guys seen us. The last video posted, I think, was actually March of this year. That was when we was working on the 1969 Firebird Memphis of Jake's. That car did not make it to Hot Rod Power Tour. I'll go ahead and give you the spoiler alert. And this is a little catch up on what all has happened. So that car didn't make it. He brings in my grandpa's 96 Chevy S10 2 days before leaving for Power Tour. We thrashed on that truck, put an intake gasket on it, and redone the upper plenum gaskets, and got it ready, and that's what went. We wanted to have videos already of this car beforehand, but in the meantime, my computer crashed. I lost my video program. I lost half the videos, at least I thought I did, to us working on the car, and we worked on this car clear up to almost the day of us leaving. So what you're going to see is the videos from us working on it this past summer. As soon as I got home from Hot Rod Power Tour, as if any of you has been following the channel for any amount of time, you know that I suffer from a heart condition called hypertrophic obstructive cardiomyopathy. Now that was something that I was born with that decided to rear its head later. So the week after we got back from Power Tour, I went in for open heart surgery and wound up in the hospital for 4 days, came home dehydrated, went back to the hospital for another 5 days where they found out I had a rare blood infection because of the medicine that they used in surgery. It's been wild. But we got a new computer, we got new video programs. Hopefully everything turns out all right. So stick with us as we try a little bit on new programs. But because of heart surgery, losing computer, everything that's happened, this is why you're just now seeing us again. But guys, we thank you so much. What are you waiting on? If you ain't subscribed, I know most of you that may be watching this hasn't subscribed. It's free to you, but it sure helps us out a lot. So go right now, smash that subscribe button. We're only hopefully going to get better from here. We're putting a lot into this now. Now that my heart's back where it should be and we're doing good, I'm hoping that we can really start cranking on some projects. We got a lot of cool things coming up. It's already lined up clear into next year. So please, please, please go down, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell so you know when a new video pops up. And guys, sit back and let's watch this video on Rockford. There's a little different scenery for you guys than what you've seen on the channel here. This is my dad's house. We are in his garage. Figured it would be a lot easier to go ahead and bring it here. Nice concrete floor garage where we can tear it apart, leave it apart for a few days and work on. So that's what we've done. We brought the car down to my dad's. Dad's going to be on it here in just a little bit, but I think for today I'm flying solo for a little while. He had other priorities, Jake had other priorities. But what we're going to do today is we're going to go ahead and get the front end of the car up in the air, get the coolant drained out of it because I've got new water pump, radiator hoses, thermostat, all these things, belts to put on the thing. So I'm going to go ahead and do that today, and none of which are bad. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw those parts in the trunk just in case, but we're going to go ahead, put the new stuff on it now just as precaution. So maybe, hopefully, we're not changing the stuff alongside the road on Power Tour. So I'm based on the car being mostly original. Like I said, other than the wheels. I mean, yeah, the wheels aren't original. I put those on just because I had them laying around. But the rest of the car is original. I'm going to guess the parts are original. So we're going to go ahead and change those out today. And but first off, what we're going to do is we're going to get the parts out. I've looked to make sure that I got everything that I ordered, but I never looked at the parts yet. So let's do that together. Let's go ahead and get the parts out, see what we got, and dive into this thing. Okay, let's just go right on ahead, get these things out, and lay them out on the absolute worst place you can lay new parts out on, the hood. And don't go commenting and acting like it's, you know, oh, you shouldn't do that, that's terrible. You're right. I shouldn't do that, but you've done it. Just let's all be friends here. You've done it too. So let's lay the parts out on the hood here. See what we got. We got 1, 2. There's 2 out of 3 belts. Get this big stuff out of the way first. Here's 2 front shocks, because we put the new rear air shocks on a few months back. So rear shocks are good. 2 new front shocks. We got 2 belts, upper and lower radiator hoses, packing slips. These are important. I'll look back over those again here in a little bit. Here's the other new belt. There's all 3 belts. Let's see here. Should be a 160-degree thermostat. I went with the coolest option because I know overheating is a big problem on Power Tour. And yeah, that is stamped on the end. If you ever want to know what your thermostats are, they are stamped on thermostats. Probably most of you know that. That is a 160-degree thermostat. There's the thermostat. Thermostat gasket. That is it's going to be the passenger side motor mount, because I already had the driver's side. It's sitting in the back seat, so I have it. This is the passenger side motor mount. What are these? Front wheel seals? Should be. Hopefully. Yep. Front wheel seals. We got 2 of them. There's the 2 front wheel seals. Inner and outer wheel bearings. There's the inner and outer wheel bearings. This should be a tail shaft seal for the transmission. Like I said, mine's not leaking. Yep, tail shaft seal for the transmission. We just don't want it to leak. We don't want it to be spewing the transmission blood out. I don't remember what I ordered here. Oh, yeah, I do. Transmission filter. Yep, there's the transmission filter and pan gasket. Shove that back together. When we changing the filter and fluids, hard to tell again when that was ever done, if it's ever been done. Who knows? So transmission filter. Boom! About to lose my stuff here. Should be a new water pump. Let's go ahead and pop that out and see what. Oh yeah. Yep, new water pump. Gasket. So far it is looking like I've got everything. Should be one more part. There it is. One more part. This should be transmission mount. Let's take a look at it. Oh. That did not want me in there. Yep, transmission mount. So we'll get all that stuff changed. I know it's bad. I know the driver's side one's bad. You can see it just shaking when the motor's running. So that should be all the parts. So that should be all the parts that we're gonna. Kind of what we know we needed. Don't really know what all we need till we get into this thing, but it's been a good running and driving car for the last several months. But I've not really taken it on any kind of a trip. Put very many miles on. I've probably put 400 or 500 miles on it. So this is something that if you're watching this, you've never done Power Tour, you're thinking about doing it. I've never done it. So I am hoping for the best and expecting the worst. I mean, worst case scenario, I'm going to have my pickup sitting at Dad's with the truck and trailer. Hey, need somebody to come pick us up. Hopefully that's worst case scenario. We're going to try to take as much stuff as we can, set alongside the road and fix if we need to. But you pretty well already know if it's rubber, it can break. If it's plastic, it can break. If it's everybody tells you that overheating is a bad issue with everybody's cars on Power Tour just because it's summertime, it's hot, you're in a lot of stop and go traffic, they say. Again, I've never been on it. Me and Jake's never been on it. We've never done this. I've never had this car further than about 30 miles from the house, and I've ran it back and forth lots there and driving. It's been a good run driving car, but when you're talking hours and hours on the highway, stuff's going to happen. So that's the purpose of all of this. We're just trying our best to eliminate as many problems as we can before we take off. Starter's bad on the car. It's got a dead spot. It'll start and run, but like the other day I took it to town. It got hot. Wouldn't start. Had to hit on with a hammer. So we got lots of work to do. But if it's something you're thinking about doing, just go through your head. Okay, belts might be going to break. So I'm going to take my old ones that's not broken, throw them in the trunk, even though I'm putting new ones on. New parts break same as old parts. You're just helping maybe your odds. Radiator hoses. Mine's not blowed, but they're old hoses. Throw them in the trunk. Take them just in case, because new hoses might blow out. So just some kind of things that's going through my head. That's free. I'm not going to charge you a dime for it. So you can have that information. Well, we got the antifreeze draining on the car now and catching, 90% of it, minus the other 10. Antifreeze is draining on the car. What we're going to do is get set up here. Go ahead and try to pop off the big fan shroud. So that way we can start changing everything on the front of the motor. I'm not real sure how hard taking the fan shroud out of a V6 version of a Firebird should be. I don't know why it's got to be. I've got nothing to show for all of the mess. Antifreeze on the floor and in the eye and sweat. I don't recommend just taking it off to clean it and wipe it off and put it back on. I definitely won't be doing that. So what I think I'm going to have to do is the way the fan shroud's made is it goes all the way around the radiator. So what I'm going to have to do is which I'm changing top radiator hoses anyway. I'm going to have to go ahead and take radiator hoses loose. The fan shroud is actually what holds the radiator in this car. I figured it was other brackets and this was just a shroud. Nah, it holds the radiator in the car. So I got to take the radiator hoses off, and that should allow me enough room on both ends of it to allow the radiator to come up just a little bit so I can get the shroud out from under it. Hopefully get the shroud pushed back to the fan or get it out or something. Not fun. I literally have been at this for like an hour trying to figure out how to get that out of the car. Finally got the shroud out. Had to take the radiator out to do so, but we did get it out, and it kind of looks like you could put a whole nother V6 engine in front of the V6. On to the next step. Now that I'm down in here looking, I was going to go ahead and wait on changing the oil, but I think actually looking at it, I'm going to go ahead and change it while the radiator's out, because the oil filter's hanging right on the front of the motor. Well, that hood spring hurts the old chesticles. What we're doing here, like I showed you guys, I got new belts. Well, come on now. Got new belts for the car. I failed to order a new fan clutch. I had a moment of weakness of spending money, and I'm like, I think we'll just save that for later. Nope. That was a dumb idea. I'm going to go ahead and order it. I think I'm going to get it through O'Reilly's because they can have it the next day and it's the same price as Rock Auto, and just go ahead and pop that on. So I'm going to go ahead and get this fan clutch assembly off. It's easy to do right now, especially since I had to take the radiator out of it. Really wasn't planning on taking the radiator all the way out, but oh well, it is what it is. It's nice and easy right now. We're just going to keep hammering away at this, try to get all this belt drive assembly off the car. You have to absolutely wreck this thing to get the belts off and get it. Woo! Boys, this is something. There's first belt off. That's power steering belt. And again, belt's not terrible. Well, I don't know if it'll focus in. It's cracked in here. It's definitely not good. It wasn't good enough for power tour, but definitely good enough to throw in the trunk in an emergency. Like I said, that was power steering belt. I think these belts, don't quote me on this, they're different part numbers, but I think 2 of the 3 interchange. I think the AC and the alternator interchange. Power steering might be a little different. Let's get the rest of these off here. Just gonna do this the easy way. I took that, get the fan off and pulled that pulley loose. We're just gonna try to do this the easy way. Well, this is not turning in to be the easy way. Oh yeah. Huh. We're missing the pulley and it's still too tight to get off. What the heck? Oh, golly. Oh, so gonna fight me. Fight me to the death. I don't even... Where's my rubber mallet? I don't even know where my rubber mallet is. It's been a while since I've worked in Dad's garage, so I give up. I give up tonight. It's just gonna fight. Guess I'll just work it clear off the crank. Okay, there's the 3 of those. I think what I'm going to do is the right thing. I think I'm going to get a paint marker and label those. Okay guys, we got something happening now. We got Dad on the job. Say hi, Dad.
Hi, y'all.
This is my dad. I've been threatening to get him on here for a while. He just got home and we are commencing to tearing stuff apart. I don't know when you get me and him together if we'll make anything put back together. By golly, we can tear stuff apart.
We can take it apart. We can take it apart.
Sticky for you?
That it is. I think it.
Did it grow on there?
It might have.
Is it a part of the car now permanently?
It's part of the car.
Is your clamp loose enough?
Yes.
Oh.
Make sure I get her where it'll.
Oh yeah.
Just a hair.
Oh yeah. You know why they call those the trouble light, right?
Because they're always trouble.
They're always trouble.
Wherever you put them, it's trouble. If you think it's in the right spot, you'll find out that it's
not
in the wrong spot. And it was just trouble putting it where you put it.
This one's got like a little spotlight in the end of it. That way, so the guy working on this thing can get blinded.
Yeah, you can get blinded by the light. Get blinded by the light. Okay. Well, that's all loose, so now
You want me to try to take
we
this
gotta
whole
try
motor
to-
loose and flip it up?
maybe try to pry that thing up off there just a hair here real quick. Just to get her loose. There she goes.
Pull on it a little bit while you... Maybe I'll pull on it a lot.
Well, she moved for us.
Oh gosh.
Little twist now.
Well, parts of it are twist.
But not what we're wanting.
Not what we're wanting.
Not what we're wanting.
So far, I've learned that if you want to work on anything, you've got to wreck the whole thing.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh. It'll help you pry, but might have got her finger.
That's all right.
That just didn't. Yeah, get that long one back in there. Oh, you're going that route.
I'm trying it. That ain't working. Well, I got another hole, that's why. What's that? What broke?
That little fitting right there.
That's okay, it's just PCB or vacuum or something of importance, we don't care.
Yes. It's been a while since there's been a car worked on in this garage.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually been a tractor garage.
It's actually tractor garage still, we just kind of invaded the territory for a couple days.
Yeah. A little resurrection iron going on here.
I'm mainly just doing this now because I'm mad.
Or maybe not mad, just
Inconvenienced.
inconvenienced.
There we go.
Now look at that. Would you just look at that?
Now we can get in there to that thing maybe.
Would you just look at that?
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to look at it.
What I could get the pry against. Can you see anything from on that side?
Oh, that's not the hose.
That's not the hose.
That's probably on the fuel line. Well, tear that up too. Oh!
Did we do anything?
I don't know. Well, grab hold of that and
Okay, there's one more way of
twist
doing
that
it.
with me. It was breaking loose.
Sprinkling loose.
It acted like it. Okay, no. Well, it's leaking fluid now.
Well, leaking fluid means that it might be going in the right direction.
Let's try. Oh,
I hear it
let's try.
cracking. She's cracking.
It's moving. Okay. All right. We thought you'd see it our way.
Yes.
All right. Here's a. I don't know where that came from. Oh yeah.
I see that right there.
Snap that right off.
Yeah, it just screws in right here, right into the intake.
I don't know what the heck it is. We'll
That
figure
thing
it out.
there's bendy. Got a little bendy to it.
They're probably every one of them different lengths.
Oh, I'm sure of that.
Right, none of them same. That one goes all the way to the back seat, I think, runs through transmission tunnel and everything.
If you go back there and open up that gas lead, you'll find it.
Gosh! We're unscrewing out of that old gasket, probably.
Something's happening.
Oh my Lord!
For a water pump? Lord have mercy.
You want to see, that one went straight into the.
Well,
What size you need now?
let's go with a 9/16.
Okay. What's the other one? A quarter?
Probably. Probably. Whoa.
Too big? Would it shrink on you? Try to. Okay.
Well, Charlie Watkins would say. What are you gonna? What are you gonna do about that?
The half inch that you took off.
Oh, Lord. That ain't good.
As long as it wanting to do the same thing.
I can feel it. Where's my back 'em up?
That's the ratchet that's broke. You gotta take a pair of pliers and change it. That ratchet's okay. It's just shorter.
Well,
So much for this being an easy job.
what you got behind you?
You just get in it. Sit
I'm
down.
used to walking up the side of it.
Breaker bar.
Afraid to just yet. Don't want it to break off.
That one goes way back in there. This one here I ain't too worried about. I can do something with that. That one there goes way back in there. I mean, the water pump ain't leaking. Cotton picker pain in the butt, ain't it?
Yeah.
It's all gummy.
Make work a little easier here.
Hey! Look at you go.
Yeah, buddy. Look at me, GI go.
So me and Dad was able to get the water pump off of it, and only managed to break 2 bolts. It's all right. At least it wasn't none of the ones that goes through the water jacket. It was just the little short, thin bolts. But we did break a couple, but they're sticking out enough that I don't know. Maybe we could use a little PB blaster on it. Maybe even shoot a little bottle torch on it, and might try to wiggle them loose and get them out pretty easy. We're gonna try it. I'm gonna get that gasket scraped off and start getting things ready for the new water pump. Well, we didn't video the bolt coming out, but we got the bolt out of the water pump housing. Dad, how excited? How much excitement did you have getting that bolt out?
I about loved every minute of it. I mean, it was close. I mean, I'm looking here.
All 45 minutes of it. It took literally almost 45 minutes of just torch and heat. And
There's what's left.
1/4 inch long bolt.
45 minutes to now.
Kicked our butt. So that's going to be it for tonight. Now I got to get a heater hose and then we can put the thermostat housing back together with new thermostat and new water pump. We got updates. The transmission mount actually is not bad. I did go ahead and change it though since I bought it. One of the things I want to show is in the car, this is sticking down through the frame. Your nut goes on here. Here's a bolt runs up in each side of the transmission. Both of these bolts, as you can tell by the grease, have been going for years. So when I would go to get on the throttle, especially turning to the left, the entire transmission was just John Anderson style. It was just a swinging under the car. So we got that changed. Literally worked like all day on doing that, and just trying to do some cleanup on some parts that we took off the front of the motor. The filler neck laying up on the hood of the front of the car. It's got the new little hose on it. Anyway, it had a pinhole in it. We threw some JB weld on it, and so literally a whole day's worth of work, just little things like that. So we didn't video, but that's what we found on the transmission mount. We had a couple new bolts, shoved them up in. What we're doing today is, since the car's already up in the air, we're going to go ahead and get in here. I debated on, because these bearings don't seem too bad. They don't seem bad at all in the wheels, but it's set for a lot of years. So I'm kind of in that predicament of thinking, I've already got the bearings. I'm sitting in a nice garage right now on a concrete floor with jacks and stands and tools, and it's a restoration project. We're not just trying to scab it together for a trip here. We're might as well do some restoring on it at the same time. So I think we're going to still go ahead, even if these bearings are okay, I'm going to go ahead and put new bearings in it. Those $3-4 a piece. So we're going to go ahead and finish tearing into this now. I got the dust cover popped off of it. Let's see what we got. We got the caliper and everything off. Yep, we're replacing those. I'm definitely rumbling, and well, it spins. That's good. It spins good, but it's rumbling bad. So sounds like maybe the inner bearing. We went ahead and got both. So finished getting this thing apart, and let's get some new bearings in it. Oh, never getting that cleaned on the pants. Let's see here. Yeah, the outer one feels pretty good. It's got a little bit of catch to it. Not terrible. Probably actually clean it up, re-grease it, and reuse it if we was desperate, but we're not desperate. Getting it everywhere. All right. The inside don't feel terrible, but definitely getting there. Gets that seal out. Legs completely asleep. Oh. Got towels. Most of you probably have either done this or at least know the process of it. What we're doing here, just get you a big old wad of the grease, this new bearing, and you're taking and you're shoving it into those rollers, and you can start seeing it squeeze, that's a new word, squeeze up through the ooze and squeeze up through the end there. And the most important part, fellas, is when you do this and you're done, walk in the house like this and grab your woman up by the face and just give her a big old kiss. She'll love that. She'll really, really love that. Ain't that right, Hannah?
Sure. Yeah, no.
Hey, I got Hannah helping us today. She's running the music for us. She's running the camera for us, and she is approving of all of the grease. Alright, that's pretty good. It's coming out every which direction. We're just gonna drop that down in the bearing. Now don't go ahead, just go ahead and crucify me, would you? Just go ahead. I'm putting a new bearing on the old race. The old race looked as good as the new one. I'm not pressing that out. I'm just putting the new one in. They're exactly the same. Tell me I'm wrong. Go ahead, put it in the comments. Wrong. That's what you get. Seal, installer. New wheel bearings are in, new wheel seals in, brake caliper pins have been cleaned up, everything's back together tight, good to go. That took care of our, well, you can hear the brake pad dragging a little bit, but that took care of our rumbling issue that we had when we spun it there before. So, brakes are good on this side. Brake hose and brake pads are all new. The fellow that I actually bought this car off of had done that right before I bought it. And we've got the evidence to prove that it is all new. You can still see the Duralast part number on the brake pad. They're new. So now we got new grease, new wheel bearings, new seals. Everything's good there. So what we're going to do a little bit before we put the wheel back on, we're going to wire brush frame a little bit, clean that up, and we're going to shoot some paint in there, just make it look better. More than anything, help preserve it too, but it'll really just help it look better behind those freshly painted wheels we're going to do, and new white leather tires. Listen, don't ever think that this is a one-man job, or I'll just change the motor mount real quick. That'll be fine. Nope. Me and Dad's worked on this 2 full evenings now. One evening to get it apart, and the whole evening and 2 motor mounts later trying to get the driver's side replaced. I ain't videoed nothing because, well, it's just been that whole time. So here's the old one. It is sheared clear off. Broke. Junk. Okay. Here's the worst thing. Let me show you the new one that they sent. The new one. Can you see? That was done with a punch by hand, just trying to line the bolt holes up. It's stretching. That was a flathead screwdriver, just trying to line bolt holes up. It won't line up because it's made wrong. It's hitting hard in the paint, you could tell. That is a junk part. That's brand new. It's not made right. It won't go in. We was half a bolt hole off here from it going in. And that's metal. We couldn't have just ground that rubber out. That's just, no. That's metal.
And look how it's stretched.
It heaved it up just from a punch by hand. Absolute garbage. So where we're at in life is the new motor mount is in. I think you can see it down in there a little bit. Yep. It's in. We just got to tighten all the bolts up. Water pump's on. New thermostats in it. Bypass hoses on it. I've not done a good job of videoing because I'm just to the point of we got to work. We ain't got time to video a lot. Frame's painted. Wheel bearings are packed. But if we can get that tightened up, then we can put all the rest of this front back together and get the car back running.
Oh, my Lord, does something.
I might have got it pretty tight.
Oh, Lord.
How far out is it?
It's crooked.
I think this is because we finally got that motor mount put in. Wow.
Oh my gosh, do you see the double part of it? Well, babe, it's on your side of the
That's
rainbow.
beautiful. So after that 4.5 hour adventure on just trying to get the driver's engine mount in this car, let's get back to doing other things. I'm really ready to do something other than a motor mount. Anyway, Power Tour is 3 weeks from today. The start of it is 3 weeks from today, which means we have less than 3 weeks to be ready. And I've got another trip planned before then, and I'll be gone for a week. So I've got this week, and I've got the week before to get this thing completely ready to what I'd like to have done. There's still a lot of things I'd like to do to this car. So I'm ready to get back into this thing tonight and just really see what we can't get done. We've been super thankful to be here at Dad's and getting to spend time with him. I know as you get older, this is what Power Tour is about. It's about the togetherness and making friends. I'm learning that quickly. Even though this is my first one and I've never been on it, I've not left yet and I've already made so many new friends. I'm getting to spend time with my dad again. I mean, life happens and we see each other, a week, once in a while during the week or whatever, but it's been almost every night I've been down here. So I've been thankful for that, getting to spend time with Jake, working on his car. An update on his car, we've got it back on all 4 wheels. Maybe you're already seeing the video, maybe the video's to come. I don't know how this is going to come out. But it's back on all 4 wheels. He took it a little drive. We're having carburetor issues. We got to get back into that. But this one here, I'm going to see if we can't get the front of this motor all put back together tonight. And my goal tonight would be to get the belts, the radiator, the shroud, the fan, all that done. And maybe get the front shocks changed and grease the front steering assembly. And that should get mechanically most of it done. At that point, it's just change fluids and then get to work on this exhaust. So let's dive back into it tonight and see what we can't get finished up. I think among one of the more first things we're going to do is try to get these belts just setting on here where they go. Get that lined out. Well, that already ain't working. What did I already do wrong? I can tell right now that alternator is way off. Well, heck. How do I route the belt? I thought it went around the water pump. I don't. Awesome. There's all 3 belts back on. So before we go ahead and tighten those up, I'm going to go ahead and get the top radiator hose put on, get the fan shroud put back on it, and the fan, and try that way of tightening everything up as well. I put that fan on. We can't tighten anything up till we put the fan on anyway, because that water pump pulley just flopping around. It's kind of like a big puzzle. You're just kind of like piecing it together, and eventually it'll all fit, I guess. So just try to get the radiator mounted back in, that top radiator hose put on. I've got to do something. I'm looking right here, and that alternator is just running this way crooked. I don't know if we're, I don't know. Is this bolted straightish back? This might be a project. Just trying to figure out why that thing's not running straight. As you probably noticed, the radiator is already setting in it. But we got to put the mounts in the bottom. See if I can do this without killing myself. Oh. That's okay. It's just tools. Ouch! In my belly. It's on.
Boy, it looks a lot straighter.
That looks a whole lot better.
I can see this one dusty. Of course, we don't want to.
Well, that pulley's.
But it's like
I was
that.
gonna say this pulley's not straight yet.
Well, if we bent it and it came back any further, our belt's just gonna rub.
Yeah, I think that's about perfect. Perfect enough for me, anyway. Checklist time. New hose for the heater. All three belts on tight. All the bracketry's tight. Alternator straightened out, running a whole lot straighter. It's still just a slight, just a little bit, not enough to worry about. Fan shroud's back on. Had to zip tie it where it busted in half. Isolators are in the correct places this time on the radiator. Bypass hose back on it. All the radiator hose is tight. New clamps. Thermostat. Vacuum switch. Water pump. I think we're good. Let's dump some coolant back in it. All right, so we are back down here at Dad's tonight, really trying to get some stuff done. Me and Dad got a lot done the other day. Me and Jake are back down here tonight. Let me give you an update real quick on what we have gotten done and what we still have to get done. This is done. New belts, all 3 belts are new. We got the alternator straightened out. It's still a little tiny bit off, but it's way better than it was. There's a new vacuum pressure switch that we got to hook up yet. Fan shroud, fan, all that's back on. We had the zip tie, normal. Most of these cars you're going to see have them zip tied together, fan shroud broke in half. It's got new coolant, oil change, K&N high performance filter. Listen, everybody's got their own opinion on what to run. I like those. What have we done? There's new thermostat. There's new thermostat gasket. There's new upper and lower radiator hoses. There's new heater hoses. There's new bypass hose. New water pump. New motor mount on that side. This one's fine. This one looked it's fine. Driver's one's done. Transmission mount is done. What we still have to do, that still needs topped off. The coolant does. We've not fired it since we put the new oil in it. Wheel bearings have been packed. This is new inner and outer. The other side was already new. We just added some more grease. Do a little paint. So what we still have to do, Jake, sawzall the old shocks off because we ain't got time piddly dink with it all day long. So we're going to put 2 new shocks on the front tonight. Grease the front end. Put the wheels back on it. Get it down. Turn it around. Put an exhaust on. We're ready. Finally got the old ones off, thanks to Jake. He saved my life.
Can you see it at all?
No. Close.
Difficult because I got a little pressure. I won't start it. Hold it there?
Yeah. And then the bottom one's up in it. Got the
Forget
gun
about
down
that.
there still?
I don't. It's up there somewhere. I also need the 1/2 inch with it too. Little gun one
I don't
is-
think I'm going to know how to drive this car. Tight.
Yep.
Good.
Okay.
All right, you got the gun.
Okay. When you can hear it, you know it's dry.
There it goes. It's swelling out now. Good deal. It's all greased. the road since all the work. Man, it drives totally different with them shocks changed on the front. Feels good to have this thing back on the road. What a beautiful night here in southern Ohio. Okay, moment of truth. It used to be when I'd turn left and get on the throttle. Nope, drive shaft just hitting the tunnel, it don't mount. Mile an hour, 63. Absolutely gorgeous evening tonight. Man, I'm glad the old Rockford Firebird is on the go again. Now we just gotta get that exhaust changed. So, me and Hannah tonight went ahead and got the tires knocked off these wheels, and they scratched a little bit from the beauty rings, which is, you know, a steel wheel, painted steel wheel. But all of them's going to do that. But I'm looking, I don't know if you can see real good. I'm working on well, just my sawhorses in the edge of my little storage thing I got here at my house. But these wheels, they got, I mean, of course this is outside the bead here. But where that bead sets, it is very, very nice. I mean, it's kind of hard to see on camera, but it's still shiny paint, really. These are just scuffed from the rubber. So I'm going to take my drill and I'm going to knock that down a little bit with a wire brush. Over around the valve stem, looks really nice. I mean, you can still see that shine in the light from the metallic silver paint. Of course, like I say, this is inside the tire. Back side of the wheel really don't look too hateful either. Of course, we'll clean all this up with wire brush. Just kind of dirty, but I mean, there's still gray paint all in here. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can't clean on this wheel tonight. It's already dark. Pretty late out. So I'm not going to work real long on it, but I'm going to see if I can't get this thing cleaned up here a little bit. Just see what we're dealing with, but then we got 3 more to go, so I'll get you set up here. I don't know if I get you set up tonight or not, but we're gonna do a little work on these wheels, see if we can't get these babies ready for some paint and them new white leather tires. A little interesting fact I just found on these wheels. Stampature 15x7, made in Canada. Can you see that date code? These wheels was manufactured April the 18th, 4/18/1979. So these wheels did come off of the 79 Firebird formula I had for a short time. So we know by looking right here, maybe yeah, you can see a little better that way. Camera refocus. Made in Canada, 15x7 wheels, April 18th, 1979. Just thought that was a cool little thing to show you there. I'm back out here today working on the wheels for the car, and I was kind of maybe hoping that the trim rings wouldn't have to go on, because I kind of like the hot rod look of it not having the beauty rings. But there's a scuffed up where it's had the beauty rings on it that I don't think there's no saving it without doing a bunch of Bondo work and different things. So we're just going to clean them up the best we can, sand them down. And I don't know, they're not real deep. We'll see what it looks like after we paint them. Most likely going to end up putting the chrome trim rings back on it. They do have the center cap in them. And these ones are actually still torqued at the German setting of Guten tight. So since them's good and tight, we're not going to loosen them up. So we're just going to clean up around them, mask those off. We got to get the old valve stems out of them, get the wheel weights off of them, and we're going to take wire brush on the grinder and get these edges and probably some of these worst places. Then we'll kind of work down to the drill with the wire brush and then some sandpaper. So we'll get you set up so that way you guys can see what we're doing here on these. And we're going to paint the backside first, put the tire on it, then mask the tire off before we inflate the tire and pop it out to the beads, and paint the front side so that way we don't scuff them up, the new paint up trying to put the tires on. So get you set up, let's get this done. What we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and put that coat of primer on. I just got some of this Rust-Oleum professional grade primer. I was going to paint the back sides of these black, but I realized all my black paint's down Dad's with the car. So we're going to shoot them with some primer, and then I have some Rust-Oleum gray, smoke gray. Oh yeah. These cans spray so good. There we go. I'll come back with a second coat here in a minute after that dries. I'll go ahead and shoot the other three. And then we can shoot that gray paint. Kind of hard for you to tell. This is what we got. Rust-Oleum smoke gray. I had got this for the front side of the wheels and decided not to use it. It's kind of a light gray. I'd rather use the charcoal because that's what these would originally had anyway with the silver. So we're going to use this on the back side. Might be kind of hard to tell now because it's about to color that primer. Yeah, it's not quite colored primer. It's a little darker. Oh yeah, that looks nice. So it's going ahead and be the next night after painting these. And these things absolutely turned out slicker than goose poop on a pump handle. I mean, look at the shine in that. That looks too pretty to put on the backside. They're not perfect. They really needed sandblasted, but we don't have a sandblaster. So we just made with what we had, but still turned out pretty nice. Don't you mind my old rusty antique two-wheel cart here that these are sitting in. See if we can't get some tires put on them. Out here piddling a little bit today, and I got the back half of the exhaust off the car. See what somebody has done here. I think this was their version of performance. I don't know, they've jammed something up in that and made a hole in that. It was laying, they had this hanging under the rear end. Here's where it was bolted to the catalytic converter. So what we've done, me and Dad, has got the new set out. There's the cross pipe. And these, like I said, these are a Pipes brand performance exhaust. Even has the pipe stamped on the cross member. Here's the muffler. Race Pro. And I'll show you real quick. Have Dad help me hold that. Can actually see right through. It's a straight through muffler. Seems to be very heavy, well built. Here's all of our parts. These two being tailpipes, looks to be. Two over the axle pieces. A couple of tailpipes. Short pieces here. And then what we will do is we will have to cut that off the manifold, or from where it comes down off the manifold, we'll cut it somewhere. Probably have to put an adapter in it to get it hooked. These are a 2.25 inch exhaust. It's not specifically built for a V6, but it is built for that body car. So we'll just have to adapt it a little bit and make it fit our application. But most of this should just go right together. This box here, it's all the hardware that you need to mount it. It's your new hangers, bolts, U-bolts. I'm excited to get this, start laying this in, see what's going to fit like. What you need?
Well, I don't.
That thing is huge.
Muffler, one of his new mufflers, babe.
Look at all the pinholes and perforations. Looks like a big old land turtle. Well, you can't just cut the exhaust off of something and not fire it up. So let's see how bad this sounds.
It's gonna sound good. What are you talking about?
Car now. so let me go ahead and give you all an update. 45 turn downs. Those are the axles. Both of them's on. Exhaust is all tightened up. There's the two mufflers going up to the X pipe. I'll get you up front and show you what we had to do to make this work. What I did on the front was on this driver's side. There's a piece of flex coming off of the pipe. We had to sawzall, mini grinder cut the original down pipe and crossed over into one that made one to get true duals. There's that X pipe going back into the mufflers. And this is a clamp together kit. Had to make an extension piece right here, as the other side just didn't. Coming down off the manifold on the passenger side was further back than on the driver's side. So on the driver's side here, we do have a piece of flex pipe going into an adapter that adapts up to the 2.5-inch exhaust. I originally thought this was 2 1/4. I bought 2 1/4. I forgot. I bought 2.5. That was the smallest size in this kit. So we have a piece of flex off the manifold. We have a 45 turn down on the passenger side with 2 adapters to get that from 2-inch up to 2.5. Short pipe back into the crossover, 2 mufflers over the axles, tailpipes. This kit is for a V8 car. It's not made for a V6. We made it work on a V6. What I would originally like to do, or eventually like to do, is have this completely welded together rather than clamped, but this is going to get us on the road for this weekend. Let me get you set up on the back and let you really hear the sound of this thing. What we got going on here is I got the backs painted and you always put a tire on from the front. So what we're going to do is before we go ahead and paint this part, because the back we don't really have to worry about getting scratched up because the way the tire tools go. So what we're going to do is set the tire, get the tire all the way on it, and before we swell the tire out on the rim or even put a valve stem in it, we're going to get the tire on it, then we'll mask the tire off, then we'll paint the wheel. This way we can keep it from getting scratched up. Now what we've done for tires, we got these Milestar street steels. Normally you spray these down with soapy water to make the bead slide, but in this case we're trying to keep that off so that way it don't mess up the paint, so we're going to just put it on dry. It'll be a little harder of a job. And normally I do this on the ground, not on these shaky sawhorses, but it's hard for me to bend over right now. Alright, let me get the tire tool. Yep, that ain't gonna work. Not on the ground, that would work. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to shove this on the best we can. My dog, she's trying to narrate for me too. This just might not work with one sawhorse. Oh gosh. Junk phone scared me to death. Okay. This might have to go on the ground. Yep, this ain't gonna work. Absolutely no way around it. This had to be on the ground. Oh, nice. And now it's trying to rain. Precisely why I wanted to do this before there was paint on. There we go. Oh gosh. And that's the hard way you have to do it. I'm gonna try and do it cheap, but this way, kind of get a look for what that's gonna look like. I think it's gonna look really nice. It'll be worth the hard work and effort. I know there's more correct ways to do this, but what I'm going to do is just take some brake cleaner. We just want to make sure there's no oily residue or anything on these. Just going to put it on a rag and give them a wipe down, make sure it gets all the dirt, stuff off of them. Like I said, there's more correct things that I could use, but this is what I got. I do think these tires are going to look really nice on these painted wheels on that car. Yeah, you can see the dirt that we got off of them. I'll flip it over on the clean side, just extra precaution. I blowed them off to get all the excess dirt off. Now we've used brake clean. Blow it off one more time. That one should be good. I got to go back and put a little more masking tape on. I kind of buggered the masking tape up putting the tires on, but we'll get that dressed and we'll be ready to shoot some paint. I'm sure maybe you've seen this trick done on other channels, and well, that's where I got it from. Take this garbage bag. It's kind of a small one. Usually you use a bigger one, but I think this will be big enough for, well, if I can get the wind to quit. Yeah, that'd be all right. Okay, there's the middle of my wheel. Make sure I get both sections. Okay. Got the middle of it. This is my first time doing this. Let's see how it works. That pulled like that. Go to the middle of the wheel. Tear on that rib. Pinch at the rim. Pair of scissors. See if I can do it without cutting my hand. Did it work? Ha! Sure enough did. Stuff that down. Boom. Tires mask off. Could have done a better job, but for first time, I'll take it. So I'm going to pull that tight. What I'm going to do is then I'm going to take some tape and tape this down. I was going to try to use one side and make two out of one deal, but I think we're just going to roll with it. All right. 4 wheels here primed. I think we got 2 coats, probably actually a little bit more than that on each one. They all turned out really nice. You can see that pitting in the wheel. If we was going to run these without trim rings, we would have to do some Bondo and things, but the centers of them look real good, and that'll be what you see. So, but they all turned out really good with the primer. So the whole wheel now has paint. The backside is primered and painted. The front's now primed. Let me show you what we got for paint. It's Rust-Oleum brand performance wheel paint. Where does it say what this color of it is? It's just a steel. Anyway, it's got a lot of metallic in the paint. It's like just like the cab. I used this back when it came out. Oh heavens, that's probably been 10, 12 years ago. And I painted a set of wheels with it. Oh, my face itches. I painted a set of wheels with it, and those wheels, I had them on a horse trailer. Ended up taking them off the horse trailer, and now they're on my 69 Charger so I can roll it around. But it still looks almost as good as when I painted it. It's good paint. So what we're going to do is paint the tops of the spokes is the only thing that'll be that color silver. Kind of around the side a little bit. But that's all we're going to paint with this. After that, we're going to be using this Rust-Oleum charcoal gray for everything else. The outside of the rim will be the charcoal gray. All these inserts, everything here will be charcoal gray. And what I have is I bought a set of stencils online that sticks on these raised parts of the 5 spokes to mask off the silver so you can paint the gray. So after we paint this silver today, we're going to let these wheels set for a couple days, let it get good and hard to paint, and then we can spray the charcoal gray. And then we will clear them also. Again, we're just painting the tops of the spokes where it's raised. It shouldn't take too long. There we go. Alright, let's see here. Oh yeah. I forgot how much metallic was in this stuff. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see the metallic in that or not. Lots more metallic than what I remembered. That's going to look so nice. Hey look, I didn't bother to bore you to death with watching me mask off all these spokes. It was driving me crazy. It was a whole lot of time consuming work, but we got it done. We got the charcoal gray painted on all 4 wheels, and it came out really, really nice. So I'm definitely excited to get the paper, plastic peeled off, masking tape peeled off, everything peeled off, see what this is going to look like together. I think it's going to look really nice. I was worried that the charcoal gray would be just a little too dark, but now that it's drying and the sun has come back out because it's been cloudy, I definitely think it's going to look just right. I'll get with you guys here in a second. We'll peel this off. And it's going to take off the plastic from the tire. Be real careful with it. Oh yeah. I'm going to take that off the center part. You have to peel kind of slow. Oh, look at my belly's in the way of the camera. It's okay, little belly. What you laughing at, Hannah? Oh yeah. The vinyl stickers might be a little harder to do. We might have to wait on that and let that paint set up just a little bit more first. Or not. You got to peel it real slow and hold it close as you peel it back. You peel it a little faster than that, but look at that sparkle in it. This is going to look nice. We'll give you a quick update after we get it peeled off. We never got the wheels on the car until the day before we left. We left on a Sunday after church. It was Saturday afternoon when I got the wheels put on. Maybe Friday night, I don't remember. They got put on a day or two before we left. So what we done was we got the wheels painted up. I had an awful time trying to get all that masking peeled off the spokes. It was a nightmare. It stuck too good. After I got it peeled off, then I had to use like fingernail polish remover to get the glue off. I fought and fought those wheels, so that's why the videos never got finished. That we was hoping to be able to give the big outro videos. That's what we're doing now. But what we're going to do is let's go ahead and walk you around the car and show you what the finished product is after all the work it was done. This is after this car has had thousands of miles put on it. I have run the wheels off of it this summer. I think I done the math the other day and I've put like somewhere over 3,000 miles on the car this summer. So let me take you walk around the car and let me show you what we got done. The car is absolutely a filthy mess. But some of the things that we done is we got the louvers put back on. We had to make a piece right here in the bottom, little piece of metal we pop riveted on so that way it was a stationary bracket. These brackets still loosen up to where you can take that off, which I do have to take it off. They'll have a couple broken pieces, so we'll get that fixed and addressed. Another thing, here's what these wheels and tires ended up looking like on the car, and I worried that paint was going to be too dark, but it actually turned out really good. We clear coated them, put new lug nuts on. These are just Amazon special lug nuts. The original chrome trim off of these wheels, and again, I mean, just, well, me and Jake was driving it in a field yesterday, doing some video for TikTok. We went ahead and put, do you realize how hard it is to find mud flaps nowadays? I looked everywhere. I went to every parts store trying to find these. I was getting ready to order them online, and Advance had them. And it was like an Advance hub store that had them. So went ahead and put 4 of them on it. We got them on the front and the back. How many of you is going to catch the detail here on the front? Tell me what you see on the front. That's the plate that Jim Rockford had on the Rockford Files. Went ahead and put that on the front. Yeah, it's not the right collar. Yeah, the Rockford Files car didn't have louvers on the back. Yeah, the Rockford Files car, it was a different car. But Still similar enough. This is my Rockford. My Rockford. I'll show you something else that we did. Put a CB in it. And you see how that's mounted? It's on magnets. The back side of the dash is metal. So we just magneticed it to the top of the dash. I still got to get it out. I got all my wires and garbage ran down. It ain't perfect. I got plastic broke. It needs carpet. Seats need recovered. It's needing door. As you can tell, that shuts hard. I got to put door pins in it, which I have. But this is what we ended up with for the Rockford Files car. You see the exhaust sticking down in the back. Turned out great. And the longer that this exhaust is ran, the better it sounds. I am absolutely blown away and ecstatic with how this car turned out and how this car runs and drives. I'm going to continue to see this car in the background. Let me know what you want to see about it. I'm going to continue to work on it. I want to put carpet in it. Headliner fell down on me, so I stapled it up. Eventually it's going to be a full restoration. We're going to lower quarters. I got to fix that panel across the back behind the rear bumper. So we got plenty of things to do, but let us know what you want to see. Drop it in the comments. And maybe it does come back, maybe it don't. I don't know, maybe not. So guys, we thank you very, very much. Again, if you have not subscribed, we ask you to please go down and subscribe to the channel. It don't cost you a dime, but it helps us out a lot. We're trying to get our subscribers up. So if you like what we're doing, share it with a friend. Invite somebody to subscribe to the channel. But guys, please hit that subscribe button. We thank you guys so much for watching the videos on the Rockford. We hope you've enjoyed this series. Unless we do something major, I don't know that you're going to see Rockford anymore as a featured video, but you'll see it plenty in the background. We're loving this car. We're driving this car. But guys, thank you so much for watching. We hope you have a good evening, and God bless you.